This is the Louie T Network.
Louie T, welcome to the NFL's Power Grid. Hey, we got a lot to get to. Week number 10 in the National Football League. Week number 9 was crazy. A lot of shakeups. This grid does not look anything like it looked a week ago. Let's jump right into the proceedings this evening. You start at the bottom of this league. Same 6 teams occupying the same bottom 6 slots, as the Oakland Raiders are still the worst team in the league. Went to Seattle, put up a heck of a fight. Wasn't able to get it done. Still your only winless team in this league. They're at 32. At 31, Tampa Bay Buccaneers couldn't get it done in Cleveland. Had every opportunity in the world to win. Couldn't get it done. They're still at 31. Jacksonville put up a fight in the jungle. Came up short against Cincinnati. They're still at number 30. At 29, Jets went to Kansas City. Gave a run for their money. Couldn't get it done. They're still at 29. At 28, you got the Tennessee Titans. They were on a bye week. They're a bad football team. They're still 28. So are the Falcons, riding a 5-game losing streak. Falcons were on a bye after playing in London, and so they're still at 27. So now you move to the teams that actually moved in the NFL Power Ranking. You start at 26 with the Chicago Bears. Here's a team that actually went down a slot, despite not playing in week number 9. That taste they left in our mouth the last time we saw them against New England, a bad one. They moved down a slot in week number 9. You look at number 25, Redskins. Had a golden opportunity to get to the bye week at 4 and 5 and come off the bye. Tampa Bay at your house. You got to expect to win that game and get back to 500. Instead, they squandered an opportunity against Minnesota on the road, lose that game in heartbreaking fashion. They moved down 3 slots from 22 to 25. You go to number 24. It's the Carolina Panthers. Here's a football team. They're not who you thought they were. They're not the same team they were a season ago. On the road, a couple of weeks ago, they finally come home and they got an opportunity to make a statement within the division on Thursday Night Football versus the team that I ultimately think is going to win the division in the Saints. And the Saints come into their house, smack them around, come out with a W. Panthers are down another spot from 23 to 24 this week. You look at 23, it's the New York Football Giants, down 2 slots from 21 last week. They're now 23rd after being shellacked at home by the Indianapolis Colts. This Giants team, not that good. You move on to 22. It's the St. Louis Rams. Look at the Rams. Very inconsistent. You never know what you're going to get. But they got it done again in the division, this time on the road against the San Francisco 49ers. And so they move up 4 slots from 26 to 22. Big win for the St. Louis Rams. They will not go away. You go to 21, Houston Texans down 3 slots after not being able to get it done against Philadelphia Eagles. They hung tough, but with Ryan Fitzpatrick at the quarterback position and just not a lot of explosion from this offense, you get what you get with this Texans team. They're down from 18 to 21. You move on to the Minnesota Vikings at number 20. Here we are, a team that got it done on Sunday versus the Washington Redskins. 2 wins in a row. If not for that last-second loss to Buffalo, we're talking about a team with possibly 3 wins in a row. This is a team playing some good football right now. They got it done. They're up 4 slots from 24 to 20 are the Minnesota Vikings. You move on to number 19. It's the San Francisco 49ers. This is a team that doesn't have an identity. They don't know who they are as a football team. And because of that, they've slid all the way down to 19 on the NFL's Power Grid. 6 slots. They're tied for one of the worst drops in the NFL Power Grid in week number 9. 6 slots down. Not going to get it done, and this team right now sitting at 4 and 4 are in danger of missing the postseason altogether after this tough home loss to the St. Louis Rams. You go to number 18, it's the Baltimore Ravens. 2 consecutive losses sees this Ravens team that just 2 weeks ago, they were in the top 8, the Elite 8 at number 8. 2 weeks later, 2 losses later, they're now at number 18 after they went on the road again for the same consecutive week in a row in the division and were able to be drubbed. This time, last week it was close against Cincinnati. This week, they go to Pittsburgh and they get beat up bad through the Ravens. They're down 2 more spots at 18. You go to number 17, it's the Cleveland Browns. And it wasn't pretty. It was gritty. It was a win, but it was not what you expect from a team that is looking and vying for a postseason spot. But hey, it is what it is. They got the W, but Tampa Bay could have won that game, probably should have won that game. Cleveland got it done. They move up 2 slots from 19 to 17. They got a huge Thursday night contest against the Cincinnati Bengals on the road. If they want to make some noise, that's a statement game for the Cleveland Browns. You go to number 16, San Diego Chargers. They're struggling. San Diego Superchargers. They're fizzling out right now, and they continue their steady decline in the NFL's power grid. Remember, just a month ago, we were talking about the #1 team in the National Football League. Now, all of a sudden, they continue to free fall. They're at 16, down 6 slots. I talked about San Francisco 49ers being tied with someone for the most slots down this week in the NFL's power grid. Well, this is the team here in the Chargers. They moved down 6 more slots as they're blanked 37-0 in Miami. Bad way to go into your bye week. That is an ugly showing by a Chargers team that once was looked upon as one of the best in the league early on in the season. You move on to number 15, New Orleans Saints. One of the biggest jumps in week number 9 is this Saints football team going on the road, handling some family business, and assuming the lead position in their division with a huge win on the road to Carolina. They go up 5 spots from 20 last week to number 15. This is a hot Saints team playing good football. Look out for the Saints. You go to 14, just talk about the Dolphins. The aforementioned Miami Dolphins blanking the San Diego Chargers 37-0. Who's playing better football than the Miami Dolphins in the AFC? You might can name 1 or 2 teams, but not many come before this Dolphins team. They're red hot. 3 in a row for this Dolphins team, and that was an impressive showing on Sunday, dismantling the San Diego Chargers. They go up 3 spots from 17 to 14. Watch out for the Dolphins as well. They're making a little noise in that AFC East. You look at the Cincinnati Bengals. They're coming in at number 13 after struggling and finding their way down the rankings. Now they're going up with 2 consecutive wins, getting it done against Baltimore 2 weeks ago and getting it done last week against Jacksonville. They're up 2 slots from 15 to 13. Cincinnati starting to get their feet back under them. Let's see if they can continue with that on Thursday night. They got a tough one against an intra-divisional rival in the Cleveland Browns. You go to 12, Indianapolis Colts, up 2 spots from last week. After last week's disappointing showing against Pittsburgh on the road, they followed that up with an even more impressive win on the road versus the New York Giants on Monday Night Football. Put up 40 points and really dominated that game from start to finish. They go up 2 spots from 14 to 12. Colts looked good on the road on Monday night. You go to number 11, it's the Dallas Cowboys. Without Tony Romo, you had a chance to see what this team would be like if something were to happen to Tony Romo again. And life without Tony Romo is not pretty for the Dallas Cowboys, as Brandon Whedon wasn't able to get it done through 2 interceptions en route to a loss against the Arizona Cardinals at home. And for that, the Cowboys dropped down 5 whole slots in the NFL's power grid. And you had to know, after last week's loss to the Redskins and this loss now, that they were going to continue to move down this power ranking if they couldn't get it done, and they didn't. So now they're number 11 on the outside of the top 10. Speaking of the top 10, we've got a new entry, the Buffalo Bills. Nobody circles the NFL's power grid like the Buffalo Bills. They're at number 10, up 1 spot from 11 a week ago. Even though they were on the bye week, the Bills have been playing steady football, and because of the movement around them, they were able to get into the NFL's top 10. You look at number 9, it's the Kansas City Chiefs. Coming in at number 9, have not moved. They were here at 9 last week. They were able to get it done against a bad Jets football team, so they stay where they are. This is a team playing some confident football right now. I assume that if they continue to do the things that they've been doing, they'll find their way into the Elite 8 of the National Football League. You go to number 8. Speaking of the Elite 8, it's the Green Bay Packers starting off our Elite 8. Here's a Packers team that didn't play in week number 9, but the last time we saw them, they lost to the Saints on the road, and Aaron Rodgers was banged up. Hopefully this bye week gave them a chance to lick their wounds. They'll be back. This is a good football team in Green Bay, and you're expecting to see them come off the bye week with a little bit of vigor after the loss that they suffered on the week 8 against the New Orleans Saints. You go to number 7, it's the Pittsburgh Steelers, up 5 slots from 12 to 7. They've been lights out offensively since the addition of Martavis Bryant, a.k.a. Big Ten. He's come in. Everybody has fit into their slots perfectly. Now you can't just double down on tones Antonio Brown has some help now. Marcus Wheaton has been put in his proper place in the slot. This team is dangerous. They're scoring points. Ben Roethlisberger, 6 touchdowns in 2 consecutive games and no interceptions. This guy's playing lifestyle football. Look out for the Steelers as they've shot up not only into the top 10, but into the NFL's Elite 8 at number 7. You go to number 6. It's the Denver Broncos. This was a team that last week were your number 1 team. They were holding down the number 1 spot. But after a devastating loss to New England, and it was bad. I mean, they got beat up 43-21. After taking that one on the chin, now they're looking to regroup all the Denver Broncos. Hopefully they can get some things together and get their wits about themselves and rally back after that loss. They're down 5 spots from number 1 down to number 6. You go to number 5, and now we're talking about the Seattle Seahawks. Here's a team that was at 7 last week, up 2 spots from a week ago. They get it done against the Raiders at home. They were able to right the ship last week against Carolina. It wasn't pretty. It was gritty. It was a W. And so they go home and they get 2 in a row now with a win over Oakland. Let's see if they can kind of string together some wins and get back to playing the football that we're used to seeing from the Seahawks team. They're number 5 here in the NFL's Power Grid. You go to number 4, Philadelphia Eagles. They lose the services of Nicholas Foles. Don't know how long he's going to be out. Broken clavicle. So he could be out anywhere from 6 to 8 weeks, which could put him out for the remainder of the regular season. How will they hold up with Dirty Chaz at the helm? We will see if Mark Sanchez can lead this team to victory and keep them inside the top 4 of the NFL's Power Grid. They're up 1 spot from 5 last week to number 4 with their huge win on the road against the Houston Texans. Now we get into the elite of the elites here in the NFL Power Grid, and we start with the Detroit Lions. On a bye week after that improbable come-from-behind victory over the Atlanta Falcons over in London, they're on a bye week and they're getting all their stuff back. No one was happier to see the bye week come than this Detroit Lions team. They were so banged up. They had a guy out on suspension. They're getting all of their stuff back coming off this bye. Look out for the Detroit Lions. They've got to feel like a confident football team with all of the injuries that they've had and being able to win despite those injuries. Now you get all your stuff back. This is a confident football team. They're checking in as your bronze star team here in the NFL's Power Grid at number 3. You go to number 2, your silver star team, none other than the New England Patriots. And it's funny because 5 weeks ago, we looked at this Patriots team. We laughed them out of the building. These guys were in the 20s somewhere. They're nowhere to be found on the NFL's Power Grid. All of a sudden now, more than a month and a half later, these guys are all the way up to number 2 and playing outstanding football right now. Some of the best in the league. Fresh off of the destruction of the Denver Broncos, these Patriots are up a spot from 3 to number 2, and they're knocking on the door of the number 1 spot here in the NFL's Power Grid. They're your silver star team for now, but if they keep playing the way they've been playing, they'll have that gold star here in the NFL's Power Grid in no time. You move on to the number 1 team, and that team is, drum roll please, boom, the Arizona Cardinals, the team from the land of the sun, getting it done on the road against the Dallas Cowboys, minus Tony Romo. Doesn't matter. They took care of business, run their record to 7-1 on the season. Is anybody playing better football than the Arizona Cardinals in the NFC right now? I don't think you can find a more well-rounded and balanced football team. They can run it. Andre L.A.B with another strong performance. Carson Palmer really not turning over the football. Did have a pick 6 in this game, but still bounced back with 3 touchdown tosses. This is a dangerous team in Arizona, and they made a statement by going on the road. Again, without Tony Romo, it doesn't matter. Made a statement, beating up 2 powerhouses in the NFC East in 2 consecutive weeks. Eagles a week ago, Cowboys last week, and so it's starting to look good for this Arizona Cardinals team. With the 49ers losing and the Seahawks still not really looking all that impressive, this Arizona Cardinals team right now is in the driver's seat in the NFC West. And so that's going to do it for the NFL's Power Grid in week number 10. This list has been shaken up, but as we all know, this is a week-to-week league and things can change in an instant. So whether your team is hot or cold, they're up or they're down, there's somewhere to be found on the NFL's Power Grid. See you next week.